Hello Ray, can you say something to Chess? The Chinese translation.
Okay, thank you. Hello everyone, and welcome to our time class for Asia. Tonight, I want to start with this thing. It was brought to my attention there's some sort of video on Lotus position by some sort of medical researcher or doctor or something from Israel. I was asked about for my opinion about that video, and my answer is I'd like to tell you to save you time. It's good if you're curious, you can look at it, but it's not necessary to look at it. What they present is a biomechanical perspective of the Lotus position. What we're doing with you is spiritual, not physical at all. So they fall short of a lot of the spiritual training that you receive through the Chan training. So you're going to ignore it all you want. But for you instructors, you who are planning on teaching Chan, you may want to look at it to see the biomechanical perspective. You see it's very shallow. How do you know that is not for you? it's not for you if after watching it you don't feel like doing full lotus anymore and you resist our full lotus training instructions. That's a sign that you don't have enough blessings. Okay, if you have any doubts, work on your blessings. Don't waste your time. Okay? Any questions about that? Okay, very good. Anyone has any questions about that video, about anything? JC.
유튜브에 올라온 김도현님 질문입니다. 갑자기 반야심경에서 불생불멸이라는 구절이 있는데, 근데 이 불생불사가 아니고 왜 불생불멸이라고 했는지 사와 멸의 의미가 어떻게 다른 건지 궁금합니다. 감사합니다.
Louder.
Sutra, there's a saying that 不生不灭, and why is not no birth, no death? Is it why no 不生不灭? Death and 灭, what is different? Thank you.
Work on your Chinese.
중국 공부해라.
Okay. 不生不灭. 不生不灭. Okay. That's not born, not extinguished. Or if you were to use nouns, no production, no extinction. Okay. Or you can call it non-arisal and extinction and extinction. Okay. So what is it referring to? It's a Buddhist profound teaching, which is the foundation of wisdom. The Buddhists who have wisdom, like most of you will develop the wisdom, you'll one day understand this concept of 不生不灭. 不生 is non-production, no birth. What is birth? Birth here refers to, in a coarse sense, your birth, how you came to get your body. If you go a little bit deeper in the spiritual side, you can say 不生 is non-affliction, no suffering. Okay? And so if you practice Chan, you will be able to get past these small obstructions called papers on lotus position, that kind of things, doctors who advise you not to. Again, I forgot to tell you, all you instructors, when your first wave of you came to me, I decided to eliminate a lot of you because by throwing the full lotus position at you. So initially, at the early stage of American Chan, I got rid of most of the students who could not sit in full lotus, who were not willing to sit in full lotus. So what remains is the core, the superior Chan students. Okay, but now we are a lot more inclusive. So I allow you to teach, or I train you to teach chant to help you broaden and deepen your understanding of chant. So therefore, I'm asking you as instructors and advising you not to push people. That's why I wrote the book, Chant Handbook, the first one, who says, when you try to help people train full lotus, you should only do it incrementally. 2 minutes, 1 minute, 10 seconds, 5 seconds, doesn't matter. That's the training. Don't overdo it. That's all. That's the concept behind it. If you do it that way, you're going to ignore that video thing because it's worldly, very, very shallow research and understanding about your tremendous potential. Okay? Your chant training is to help you harness this tremendous potential you have. What for? The more you can will this thing, the more you'll get closer to Bu Sheng Bu Mie. So that when that happens, you reach a state of Bu Sheng Bu Mie. Then you discover something really, really wonderful about you. What does it mean for you? It means that when you get to those levels, or on your way there and beyond, you will enjoy life. You find life a lot more interesting, more enjoyable, more meaningful. Whereas the people who do not practice chant or do not have the same guidance as you, they easily get overwhelmed by life, by their afflictions, by their ignorance. Okay? And so that's what happens. You find out. So it's not much you can do. That's why as instructors, I advise you to go slow. Don't push like I used to push you anymore, okay? Because it's not for everyone. I push you because I chose to. You do not have that kind of experience or wisdom. That's why you don't want to push people. You want to err on the conservative side as instructor, okay? As a student, you feel like you are hesitant and then go slower. Instead of going by increments of 2 minutes, I go by 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and so forth. Do it. It's by increments. The concept is to increase your sit slowly and slowly and slowly. All right? Now, so if you do that, every time that you are able to increase your sit in full lotus, okay, and the more struggle you have, something wonderful happens. Your wisdom unfolds, and eventually you realize that you enjoy life a lot more. You find life much more interesting. Okay? That's on your way to Bu Sheng Bu Mie. And this is the chant training is for the purpose to help you, all of you, experience this state of Bu Sheng Bu Mie. Okay? So, on the since you have already have your body, so it's no point for me to going back to talk about it. Now you have this body. So how does Bu Sheng Bu Mie apply to you? Not born, not extinguished, not perished. It means that you get to this state of mind where you have no more afflictions arising in you, no matter what. No matter whether someone yells at you, someone gives you some good food, like pizza with honey for the Koreans, okay, or whether it's any other bad things in life or great things in life, they cannot afflict you. That may qualify it for you. The Chinese kind of make it abstract, so that Chinese, Vietnamese, Asian, they make it too abstract. That's why it took me many, many years to figure it out. I'm glad I was not a scholar and researcher, because those people tend to err on the physical side. My training is on the spiritual side, okay? And I was lucky. Worldly people err on the worldly side, the material side. That's why their discovery, their understanding is so myopic, so skin deep, okay? That's a misuse of the Buddha nature. It's like if you spend your time searching, solving this small problem, instead of devoting or learning or developing the ability to harness your great wisdom that you all have. You all have tremendous wisdom. You just don't know it. We look at you and say, wow, you have so much wisdom. How come you don't use it? And this is what China is about. China is about to train you, to understand, to get to this, to realize this condition called 不生不灭. And it takes training. It's not easy. Okay? And so you understand more, and you'll be able to wield your true strength, your true wisdom. And you're no longer afraid of that thing called death, that thing called suffering, that thing called pain. You all are walking around so fearful of this unknown called death. You cower whenever you see you're under threat. Okay, so because you built your system is loaded with this constant fear that is the base of your mind. You wake up, you become, without knowing it, fearful of death. And ordinary people spend their entire life ignoring it, because no one can tell them what to do about that fear. Okay? So, 不灭 is no death. Only in Buddhism can you find the answer on how to deal with your death. If you can deal with your death, then you have no more fear. You no longer are a victim of life, like I like to say. Ordinary people are just victims of life. And that's normal. That's the nature of our retribution in this world. Okay? So that's what you learn. Chan, this Chan training here, starting with Full Lotus, is by design from the Chinese genius. Okay? We start with Full Lotus in order to train you to get to the state of Wu Sheng, of non-production. And what is that state of mind in Chan? State of mind in Chan is you give no more rise to thoughts, non-arisal, non-production, non-birth, refers ultimately at the very lowest level is no production of thought, no birth of thoughts, no arisal of thought. That's what happened. That's why it's called non-birth, non-production, non-arisal. And you inherently are that way. And you ask, many of you might say, but I'm not that way. Precisely, you're not that way because you've been slicing in this wheel reincarnation for so long that you forgot, and you are accustomed to it, okay? And you no longer are inside of that thing called non-production, non-arisal. And Chan is the only way for you to get back home to your state of non-production, non-arisal. Okay? Now, why did the Chinese leave it at that abstract level? For a reason. See, for us Western educated people, it bothered me. It used to bother me a lot. I said, just give it to me straight. Okay? But it doesn't work that way. It is the way that the Chinese explained it has based on this one thing, okay? In order for you to get to the state of non-production, Wu Sheng, okay? Therefore, you have no extinction, therefore, Wu Mie. Then, what you need is the guidance and the help and the protection for you to be able to realize it is not knowledge. It is something that you must be pushed into, ushered into. So that's why the scholars, the researchers in these institutions or the bookworms will never be able to understand that state because they are not guided into it. And if you once you understand, when you got there, you say, that's what it is. And you know what's going to happen next? You say nothing. And you look at those videos and those books and those experts who keep on talking about Full Lotus, about non-production, about mind, about all those things. The more they talk about it, the more you realize they are speaking nonsense. They don't understand. They're only selling you nonsense to make a living. That's all they're doing. Okay, it's not knowledge. It's about learning how to do it yourself. Chinese was a saying, okay? Only you can know how it tastes like. It cannot be described. Only you know how warm it is when you drink the water. Yes, Jane.
Thank you, Master. I have a question. Around 2019, and you talk about your experience. The sixth patriarch came to teach you at the ABC Mart, and then you said bicycle people. I don't understand what bicycle people you refer to.
Oh, that's an early jargon I used in early days at LMT, Blue Mountain Temple, where there were a lot of Vietnamese back then. They all disappeared, I think. And Vietnamese has an expression, ba si loco, meaning stupid people, to put it nicely. Okay, so ba si loco, bicycle is close enough to ba si loco. Okay, anything else? Okay, let's go into one of the anecdotes that we have. I have Shaka Jr., I have Witch Mirror, I have Men in the Well. Middleweight. Okay, Shaka Jr., how's that? Right in the middle of my screen. Okay, let's look at this anecdote here. Shaka Jr. How many are there? It's very short, right? Okay. A monk came down from the sky. The master asked him, "Where did you come from?" He said, "India." Master said, "When did you leave?" He said, "This morning." Master said, "What took you so long?" He said, "I've been sightseeing." But in Chinese, I've been touring the mountains and playing in the oceans. Okay? Water sports and probably mountain climbing. Master said, "Your spiritual penetrations and choices for leisure are not bad, but the Acharya still has to come to this old monk to seek the Buddha Dharma." He said, "I especially came to the eastern land to pay my respects to Manjushri Bodhisattva, but instead I met Shaka Jr. He took out some palm leaf sutras, respectfully offered them to the master, bowed and flew off in the air. From then on, the master had a nickname, Shaka Jr. Okay, Shaka, let's go over it. Shaka is the last name of the Buddha. So all of us, left home people, we also take on the last name of Shaka because we are considered to be direct children of the Buddha, meaning that, believe it or not, doesn't matter who you are, what kind of monk you are, a nun you are, as soon as you have the name Shaka, then you are your children of the Buddha, therefore the Buddha looks after you. Point number one. Point number two, not only the Buddha looks after you, but you are very much like in families. When you have the last name, then you are a representative of the family. Okay? Junior comes from the junior here refers to in seniority, I guess. Okay? And so almost a Buddha is basically what it means. So a monk came down from the sky, and the master asked him, where did you come from? All right. So this monk here came down from the sky, meaning he used his spiritual powers to fly. And you can see him coming very much like an airplane, an incoming airplane, lands into the master's assembly. Okay, right there, you can see him laying down. So he's basically showing off. Okay, and by the way, after you mastered a little bit of meditation skills, you also will be able to fly as well. All right, and this is why in the Taoism they use that the ability to levitate or to do astral bodies travel. What they have a small body. Okay, they call it astral body, and when they send the consciousness out from the top of the crown of the head. Okay, so that's the spiritual traveling. Okay, or in Chan. Okay, in the Chan world, this monk here, when you get to the level of this monk, then you'll be able to physically fly. Okay, for example, Master YongHua, my Chinese master, my Chinese teacher, one of his vows, his 18 vows, is that he vowed that he would be able to fly. Okay, so that's what happens. So it's usually at the level of the Arhat range or higher. If those of you who are curious, you'll be able to focus on developing this ability. Okay, Arhat range, and higher definitely. Okay, and there is a reason for it. But in Buddhism, we never, mainstream Buddhism, especially in Chan, the Chan I'm teaching you, we never put emphasis on these spiritual things, spiritual powers, spiritual penetrations, because they are in hindrance to our cultivation. Okay, the proof is that here he says once he can fly, and that's what he does. He's been sightseeing, touring the mountains and playing the ocean. So he fly to the mountains, look at the Himalayas, fly to see the corals in the sea and so forth. So you waste a lot of time doing this, which is not the Mahayana ultimate goal, ultimate pursuit in Chan. That's why we don't encourage these things. Actually, you seeking spiritual penetrations, we would try to dissuade you from it, and because it's not, it's limiting, it's self-limiting. Okay. So anyway, so this is a proof right here. When you're able to do what he does, especially he has spiritual penetrations, you will use it. This is why in Chan we don't seek spiritual penetrations at all. Any sort of Buddhist practice that seeks spiritual penetration is not ultimate. Yes, there's a lot of Buddhist teachers out there who advocate this or sell this to whatever reasons for us. We don't care for this. But anyway, we're not impressed by this either. So this guy came down from the sky. Okay, fine. So the master asked him, where did you come from? So typical Chinese protocol, Chan protocol. What's your name? Where did you come from? Did you eat? You need a place. Have you found some lodging for tonight? That kind of thing. Did you have lunch? Okay. Yes, there is Zietz who has a question. by unmuting yourself.
Chu Hong, please go ahead.
I continue. So he replied, India. Master said, because when did you leave? Because when you fly, it shouldn't take that long. So Master immediately said, when did you leave? And he said, this morning. Master said, why did it take you that long to come here? Okay, in fact, the Chan people, the Chan, I read on the Chan analog, the Chan analects, where the accomplished Chinese Chan masters would be able to do this kind of travel, where it's called the spiritual foot, where you can disappear into this place, into the earth, and appear into Paris, the Champs-Élysées for shopping. Okay, that kind of thing. Okay, or to go to Noma before it closes to eat. Okay, so that's it's instantaneous. Okay, it's very, very fast. All right, even faster than the speed of light. Okay, so monk said, I've been sightseeing. Okay, and so yes, Wei Mountain.
Thank you, Master. There was a story about Master Shenhua about how a car was locked and he transformed into the car. Is this some kind of spiritual teleportation that Great Master Shenhua did?
He's what? The car was locked and then what?
It was a story from back in the day. Some car was locked and he got into the car. And yeah. I don't know if you know the story, but it's teleportation?
Yes, it's basically what they call shengzu, or spiritual foot, meaning that he can pass through walls. Okay, that's one of the 6 spiritual penetrations. It's quite commonplace for them to do that. Master Shenhua used a lot of his spiritual penetration. He's different. When you're at his level, absolutely, you should have spiritual penetration because he needs them for his work. But until you get to his level, I don't recommend that yet you develop spiritual penetrations at all. Okay, it'll happen naturally. Okay, and that's from my perspective. It happens naturally. There's no need to be greedy for it, to seek for it, because it's a lot more hassle than you think. Okay, and there's a way to develop spiritual penetrations, but it's not advisable. Okay. Because I'd rather you develop wisdom instead of spiritual penetrations. Usually, for a person like Master Shenhua, when he had spiritual penetrations, it's because he's at the level where his spiritual penetrations can no longer get in the way of his development of the wisdom. Actually, they help, not at our levels. Okay? Okay, so that's why. Let's get it out of the way. I don't recommend it unless you can see Master Shenhua and say, that's where you are, that's who you are, then you can have spiritual penetrations. Okay? Keep it simple for yourself. Yes, from K-Land.
정인환님이 올려주신 질문입니다. 아미타불 마스터 가르침에 늘 감사드립니다. 우에시 보시는 구체적으로 어떻게 해야 하는 것일까요?
question from YongHua. Amitabha Master, thank you for your teaching. How can we do giving of fearlessness? Specifically, how can we do that?
How can you give fearlessness? Giving of fearlessness requires you to be aware of someone is in a state of fear. Okay? They're fearful, they're worried, and you try your best to alleviate their fears and their worries. And then in doing that, you planted the seeds for you to get help in the future and then be able to develop fearlessness. All right? That's important. It's the Chinese Chan or the Chinese teaching don't stress that enough. I feel this is one of the strengths of Western culture. When they try to comfort you, they try to give you relief on your worries and your anxiety. And this is what they do here in the U.S., okay, that we in Asia don't normally do. Okay? So this is one of the strengths of Western culture that we could use in helping people when give them relief to reduce their anxiety and their fears, and that's how you do it. Okay, when you get to a higher level, then you'll be able to deal with the source of the fears yourself later. Okay. All right, continuing. So you see, right here, so because he has spiritual penetration, he's caught. He caught into trying out his skills, and therefore he, to us, American Mahayana, this is a waste of time, sightseeing. Okay, it doesn't help you, and he's stuck here because of his bad habits. Yes, you still have a question from Korea?
마스터, 정토회가 들리세요? 그래요? 들리세요, 스님? 네. 정토에 관한 질문이 있는데, 일단 정토에서 온 사람, 예전에 반야심경에 정토에서 온 사람들에 대해서 잠깐 언급이 있으셨어요. 근데 제 첫 번째 질문은 정토에서 온 사람들은 모두 아미타 부처님의 심부름으로 온 건지 아니면 개인 원력이 있는 건지 일단 첫째 궁금하고요. 네, 스님 일단 여기까지. 심부름이요. 심부름. 네네.
So I have a question about the Pure Land. Last time you talked about Heart Sutra. You talked about the people living in Pure Land. And I want to ask that all the people from the Pure Land, they have come by to do some chores from Amitabha Buddha, or do they have any vows?
그리고 이제 두 번째 질문은 정토에서 온 사람들의 특징이 있다고 하셨는데 반야심경에서는 길게 설명이 없으셨어요. 그래서 이렇게 정토에서 온 사람들의 좀 특징이 좀 뭔지 궁금해서 질문드립니다.
And my second question is the characteristics about the people from the Pure Land. In the Heart Sutra, it was lack of explanation, so I want to know what's the characteristic of people from the Pure Land.
Answer to your question is once you get there, you know. And the answer to the first question is whatever they do for tourism is American perspective. Like I said, if you want to go take a look at the Pure Land before you want to buy a house anywhere, and retire or live anywhere, you should go and take a look first. Don't just jump at the first door available to you. So that's why I recommend those people who are skeptical, such as, for example, that's designed for those people such as Catholics, such as non-Buddhist people, such as Chan people who says, I'm definitely coming back. Okay? That's why it was designed for such people. So I said, to such people, I said, instead of being so close-minded and make up your mind, you might want to do some travel. And if you can make it to the Western Blissfield and go there and take a look, and you find out that it's a pretty attractive place, much better than you think, much better than any other place that you were so committed to going. That's what he meant. All right? All right, JC, quickly.
산매와 지혜는 어떤 관계가 있는지 궁금합니다. 산매와 지혜는 어떤 관계가 있는지 궁금합니다.
Sir, what's the connection between samadhi and wisdom?
When you have samadhi, I would tell you the connection between our samadhi and your wisdom. And this doesn't apply to others' samadhis and others' wisdom. Okay? Meaning that the way we train you in chant in our temples, in our system, is we train you on both the samadhi and wisdom without you knowing it. Okay? Meaning that it's both for us. When I train to you, for example, I spend an hour sitting with you to help you develop samadhi, and I spend another hour, which is a lot of time, okay, to help you develop your wisdom. So that's why to us, see, that should be clear to you how important it is for us in our approach. We stress both equal weight of samadhi and wisdom development. Whereas in my Chinese system, my Chinese master system, they sit with you for an hour and then they talk to you for 20 minutes. So you see a different weight. Okay? Theirs is more on the samadhi development instead of wisdom development. Ours, I decided to do more equal weights of samadhi and equal weights of wisdom, because we put more emphasis on certain teaching than they do. Typically, that's what the Chinese do. But we, my only excuse is that I decided to catch up with the Chinese. I'm tired of having the Chinese look down upon us and saying, we own Chan, we understand Chan, you are Chinese or Korean or Vietnamese, and I'm American. So I said, if you're so good, then I will catch up and surpass you. And my students will catch up and surpass you. That's why I call my students American chant, not Chinese chant, not Vietnamese chant, not Korean chant. Because when I say American, is that our students will surpass you. That's a challenge. It's not, maybe I come across as arrogant, but it's not meant to be arrogance. It's meant to you. This is very American. We challenge you. Okay? We challenge you to compete, because I'm coming into your territory. I'm coming for you. I'm going to compete with you, and ultimately I will surpass you. So therefore, there's a very friendly competition. May the best man win. That's the attitude. Okay? Not because we want to prove we're better, we have nothing to prove. Very much like here, back on slide number 6. The master said, the Chinese is very interesting. The English translation lose a little bit. The Chinese says, your spiritual penetration, you have some. It's not bad. You have some. 神通则不无. Okay, so you have some, meaning that you have some, but it's no big deal. Because the guy came down from the sky to show off. You see, the guy was showing off. And the master, instead of doing anything, he says, let me tell you something. Your showing off there is okay. Okay? Because when you do the shenzu, the spiritual penetration, you don't need to go like that. It's too slow. It's a waste of time. When you want to go, for example, if I want to go in the 3-star Michelin French restaurant, I'm going to go fly the ocean, or go out in the stratosphere and so forth, and go down, and then wait for the band to hit, and hit the drum and bells to welcome me to the French restaurant. No, it's too much time. I'm here to eat. Who cares? What do you think of me? Okay. Okay. So that's what the master says. He started already. He says, your spiritual penetration, you have some. Okay? This is where it shows. The next thing is Master Yang Shan's. Master Yang, is it Master Yang Shan or Master Wei Shan? I'm not sure. Could be Master Yang Shan relating the story.
Master Yang Shan.
Okay, thank you. So Master Yang Shan, next he says, 游戏. So it's you roaming around, you flying around, you playing, you're horsing around in English. The bu, meaning that you can horse around. This is the Master Yang Shan's certification. This guy says, you are enlightened. Why? Because enlightened people are no longer afraid of their choices of leisure. You see, those people, see, the Chinese people in particular, Chinese system, say, oh, I need to cultivate, I need to become Buddha. Okay? And because they are nowhere near Buddhahood, that's why they said, oh, I need to cultivate 24 hours a day, I need to. Okay? And once you become enlightened at a certain level, then you begin to see, wow, you can have some leisure. Why? Because I've been teaching my students. Someone asked me, I'm going to a foreign country. I mean, his homeland. So what do? I've been teaching him about class, about manners, about the standards of deportments, which I ignore. I've been ignoring all these years because there's no need for it. We don't need to impress anyone. Okay? But now he's going back then to his country, then I want him to represent us, and therefore he needs to understand how to carry himself, what we stand for, why we train him, and so forth, so that people can see that he is a representative of the American Chan Dharma. Okay? And so it requires you to go beyond cultivation, like this guy here. Now he has a choice of leisure, like Master Yang Shan says, you're not bad. You dare enjoy yourself. I like it. Okay? But a little bit, 则不无, he says, you can enjoy yourself a little bit. Also, he means that you're still not high enough to really know how to enjoy yourself. So Master Yang Shan teaching is so subtle. He says, yes, he has some spiritual penetration, but, okay, and you can enjoy yourself. I applaud you. That's very good. But you should go to 3-star restaurant instead of yes 7.
Master, I don't know where's the choices coming from. I don't think the 游戏 really means choices. Just playing and having fun, I guess.
Yeah, he's having fun.
No choices. It's not like they're making choices.
Yeah, because Zebu would. So yeah, this is fine. This is fine. It captures the spirit of what Master Yang Shan's. Okay, it's impossible to translate completely without using 2 sentences. So if they combined it, they chose to combine it this way, it's okay. I can buy it. That's why I have to elaborate for you. He says, Shen Tong, okay, spiritual penetration, okay, you okay. Too slow, you okay. You see, he says, I certify you. I certify you to be enlightened. And it's encouragement. I certify you enlightened. It's okay for you to have fun, but you're having fun is not that impressive. That's what he's saying. Okay? So he's helping the Indian guy. Shirley. So Acharya is the Chinese polite expression when you see a senior person, a senior monk, or with Dharma, high Dharma age, you address them as He Shang, or in this case here, because Master Yang Shan needs to tell this guest here he's higher than him, so he addressed him Acharya, Shirley, and meaning that I'm higher than you. So this to reinforce the teaching here. I certify you to have some spiritual penetration, but you should work on that. I certify you it's okay to have fun, okay? That you're enlightened, I like it, but you don't know how to have fun yet. You see that? So it's very subtle teaching, very kind, very compassionate, okay? And this is confirmed by Shirley here, Shirley Fu. He says, Acharya, so you are below me. I'm He Shang, you are Acharya. Okay? You still have to come to this monk, humble, okay? To seek the Buddha Dharma. Okay? So far, so good? Very, very compact teaching. If you don't pay attention, you miss it. Okay? But this guy, this Indian monk, got it. Okay? Okay? This is the beautiful wisdom of Master Yang Shan. He showed him respect because he's not from China, he's not his student, so he showed him the proper protocol and the proper respect while certifying him, while encouraging him, while also challenging him. He said, you're not bad, but it could be better. In both your spiritual skills as well as your choice of leisure, how to have fun. You don't know how to have fun yet. Could be better. Okay? But I commend you for coming to see me to seek the Buddha Dharma. That's very good. Okay? Keep it up. All right? So the monk said, the monk is impressed. He says, I especially came to Eastern land, meaning China, to pay, which is to the east of India, to pay my respect to Manjushri Bodhisattva. He wanted to visit Manjushri Bodhisattva, okay? And so his goal is that he heard that Manjushri Bodhisattva is in China, okay? Of course he was. So he went to China to look for Manjushri to pay respect. However, he screwed up. How? Because he went to Youshan Wan Shui. Okay. So that's why Manjushri basically says, no, I don't have time for you, boy. So this guy says, I came here, okay, to pay respect to Manjushri Bodhisattva. But between parentheses, Manjushri Bodhisattva doesn't have time for me. Okay, but instead, I have a chance to meet Shaka Jr. Okay, meaning that, and this is a praise and to Master Yangshan. He recognized Master Yangshan as next in line to the Buddha because he appreciated Master Yangshan's teaching. Okay, at their level. Okay, and this is so commendable to the Indian monk, and the superior wisdom of Master Yangshan in training, in teaching people, because in a few sentences he inspired this Indian monk who is rather arrogant, and he's a show-off, but by these few sentences, in a few minutes, he's able to teach his monk, this Indian monk, okay? And so he admitted, the Indian monk, he says, you see, it's funny that Master Yangshan also, you notice, usually in a Chinese system, they will ask you, what's your name? Where did you come from? Did you eat? And so forth. He's very fast. Master Yangshan is very fast. I won't bother, because if you tell me your Indian name, I probably won't remember. The Indian masters are too long, and something. Okay, it's too much like Korean names for me. Okay, and so that's why it's beautiful the way the interchange here. And so this monk here is totally respectful. He says, and he praised him. He says, "Wow, you are." Next to the Buddha is you. So you are Shaka Muni Jr. Okay? You take after the Buddha. You teach like a Buddha. Okay? And they took out some palm leaf sutras. That's where they used to record sutras. They write it on palm leaves and respectfully offered them to the master. Okay? He bowed. You offer. And he bowed to say thank you for receiving my offering and flew off into the air. Again, he didn't have a better mode of transportation. He had to fly off. Okay, so even after, so this is a final confirmation for me that he's enlightened. His enlightenment level is not bad. Okay, so that's why he's able to do these things, flying around and goof off and so forth, and go and pay respect to Manjushri Bodhisattva. Okay, and that's the end of the anecdote. Any questions? No? Yes, ZH.
Thank you, Master. A question about translation of the anecdote. The first sentence, 有梵僧从空而至. So this is an Indian monk. Should we add either Sanskrit or Indian before monk in the English translation? Thank you.
Yeah, this Chinese character is a fan or fan? Fan, huh? Okay. So yeah, I didn't catch it. Thank you for pointing it out to me. This is tells you, this refers to for us probably skin color. Okay, so yes, you are right, ZH. I would add an Indian monk. Okay, as an interpretation. Okay, yes, Jane.
Thank you, Master. I also have another comment about the translation. The translation of 游山玩水. the direct translation, it's better to be mountain and water instead of ocean. Touring the mountains and playing in the water.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, that's better. I agree. Waters, meaning not just oceans, but it could be lakes, could be rivers. So they have both mountain and water sports. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much.